about these spicy Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks. You know, when I woke up this morning, I saw that on Twitter. My dick was hard, bro. But, you know, firstly, this is a pre-alpha footage from 2019. So it's not indicative of a final product. It was played in a debug test mode, a developer mode, and so you probably noticed the graphics looked a little weird, but you shouldn't be judging that. If you're judging that, then you clearly don't know anything about game development. The graphics are going to be much improved in the final release. And, I mean, just look at Red Dead Redemption 2. There were some leaked photos of that from many years ago. And compared to the final product, that game is still beautiful to this day. And this game's going to look even better than that because it's probably going to be, I assume, next-gen only. And, but however, a few things on from this unofficial leak. There's seemingly two protagonists that you can instantly switch between, one male and one female, which is a first for any Rockstar game, I believe. You can fact check me on that, but I know Grand Theft Auto has never had a female protagonist. You know, we've had well over 5 games at this point, and none of them have had a female. So, you know, I'm not huge on female protagonists, but you know, some people like that. I mean, maybe I'm just a sexist asshole, but seeing it in Grand Theft Auto will be kind of interesting. I do like the character model for the female protagonist. It's very detailed, if you get what I mean. And they showed an instant switch, which wasn't like the GTA 5 switch. It just kind of, it's like you jumped from one body to another, like you're a freaking demon or something. And it was pretty. That was pretty smooth already. And there's also some Red Dead Redemption 2 type interactions with NPCs. The game is set obviously in Vice City, but we knew that already. But it definitely looks much more like Grand Theft Auto 5's world than the original Vice City, at least to me. It's in a modern Vice City, not the 80s that we know from this wonderful old game here. And this is actually the definitive edition. So we knew that from a previous leak already, but there is such an attention to detail that I already noticed in these early unofficial leaks from probably years ago, and you can tell even. And I'm not showing these here because I don't want to get copyright striked and sued into oblivion, hit with the RICO Act like these brave leakers are probably going to do. Shout out to them, salute to them. But I saw a leak that showed car customization. And the car customization is so detailed. It's more detailed than I've ever seen in any game ever, not just Grand Theft Auto, any game ever. You can literally adjust the interior, like the level of the seats, you know, everything about the interior, the color of it, because I assume that GTA 6 seemingly is built from the ground up with first person in mind, unlike GTA 5, which it was added in with the next gen update. But so that's going to be pretty interesting to see what a GTA world will look like, built from the ground up to support first person. So it's going to be incredibly detailed. It's going to have that Red Dead Redemption 2 level of detail, which, you know, because that game was built from the ground up with first person in mind. So they included such detail, like with the guns, you could see, you know, the etchings on the guns and the markings and everything. And that level of detail is just, it's very rare in the game industry, and it's something really only maybe Rockstar and maybe Bethesda can really achieve. And the UI looks very clean. It looked very smooth. I assume that's not the final UI, but the map in the lower left corner looks like the GTA 5 map, basically. And then you have a white, clean UI. But the thing I'm most excited about, man, are those interactions with NPCs. Because that was one of my favorite things about Red Dead 2. Was to you know, go up to random NPCs and threaten them and talk shit to them and rob them. And it seems like they've carried that over from Red Dead 2 into GTA 6. So I'm very happy about that. And one of the scenes that we actually see in these leaks is a scene inside of I think it was a gas station or a restaurant, one or the other. But the main character is, you know, threatening the clerk and robbing the money out of the cash register. And you see that you can actually keep threatening the clerk, and he gives you more money. And then there was another clerk. There were two clerks in the gas station, I believe, and you can rob both of them. And then it's almost like a scene from Payday 2, where in Payday 2, you threaten the witnesses, the people inside of the gas station, and you can really hear the level of reactivity and interactability if you watch that one video, because literally the protagonist, the player, is threatening the one innocent NPC in the gas station there, and then he eventually shoots him, or the woman protagonist shoots him, and she's like, oh, who wants to be next? So that was pretty cool to me. So it's almost like, in GTA 5, it wasn't that complicated to rob a store. You just kind of went in the store, you pointed the gun at the clerk, and they just hand you money, and it's only one time. But in this GTA 6 game, there's actually a lot more complexity to robbing stores, seemingly. You can do it multiple times, there's multiple registers, and I better jump out of this car, it's on fire. And then you can, intimidate all of the other people in the store. Normally in GTA 5, they'll just run outside. And but in this game, like, they actually stay in there, like in an actual situation. If that happened in real life, you're probably not going to just run like crazy, because you might get shot if someone's waving around a gun. So you got to do what they say. Like, if someone robs a bank, people, if you ever play Payday 2, they sit in the bank, and you get to command each of them. And then the cops finally came, and then the player goes outside and steals the cop car, and you can see the textures on the cars aren't finished either. They look a little rough, but that's obviously going to be fixed. It's probably already fixed. I imagine that since those leaks were from 3 years ago or so, I imagine this game is pretty, if not completely ready to show off, it's very close to being ready to show off. So I would be very surprised if we don't see a reveal trailer, especially after this leak. They're going to want to get ahead of this leak. They don't want this to be what people see at GTA 6. They don't want people to think this is the final product, because people are stupid. A lot of people are going to think, oh, this is GTA 6, this looks like shit, bro. I'm going to buy Saints Row instead. People are that stupid. And, I'm also sick of that meme saying that looks better than Saints Row. Stop shitting on Saints Row, people. Saints Row is a really good game. Listen to Game Informer. They gave it an 8.5. But that's besides the point. But I think Rockstar is going to want to get ahead of these leaks, and you'll probably see an official reveal trailer, I would guess, before the end of the year. They'll probably start preparing that shit now. And that would be in line with what Rockstar did with GTA 5. When GTA 5 was first revealed all these centuries ago, back when the dinosaurs still roamed the earth, they first revealed the game, I believe, around January of 2011, I believe. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure around that time. And that was a whole 2.5 years before the game actually came out. And Rockstar did the same type of thing, and the game did get delayed. It was originally supposed to be released spring of 2013, and they didn't hit that, so they delayed it to fall, thankfully, because the game turned out to be a masterpiece. And I actually still have the original poster that says spring 2013 I got from GameStop for pre-ordering the game. And this is probably gonna be one of the games that I definitely pre-order. Probably the only game I'd pre-order these days, because Rockstar is probably the only developer left in the games industry that just does not miss. Like, everything they drop is just 9.5, 10 out of 10 masterpiece. And that's because they take their time. They've been doing this for so long, and now they have probably the biggest studio, and it's multiple studios, but on GTA 6 I'm pretty sure every studio under the Rockstar umbrella is working on it, just like with Red Dead 2. And that is, I just checked from my friend Timur222 on Twitter. He's a very smart guy, and he found that according to financial statements, Rockstar is employing over 1,400 people right now across their studios, and that's an incredible amount of game developers to be working on one project. So we're gonna see a game that really has no precedent in terms of budget, development, with the closest thing being Red Dead 2, but this is Grand Theft Auto. I mean, the last GTA game, GTA 5, had sold, I believe, somewhere in the realm of 100 million copies. I mean, if you translate that to music sales, that's like 10 times Diamond. Like, that's not even in the realm of possible for pretty much any other franchise, but GTA is without a doubt at this point the biggest franchise in gaming, and I'm just ready for them. And you know, I don't feel bad. Some people, I heard, you know, some friends of mine who have, you know, big YouTube followings and all that, I see them saying, oh, I feel bad for Rockstar. This is so bad for Rockstar. I don't feel bad for Rockstar. Rockstar has been milking Grand Theft Auto Online for years and years, and they never put out any single player DLC for GTA 5 like they said they would. It was in the works. They canceled it because of how successful online was. The voice actors confirmed that was true, and they never put out any for Red Dead 2 either. And you know, and now we've been, what's it, 4 years. It'll be 4 years a month from now since Rockstar has put out a game. And you know, if we go back and look at their release history, they used to release multiple games in a year. I believe, you know, what, 2006 we got Bully, GTA Vice City Stories, and even released like a poker game. Then we got Manhunt the next year. Then we got GTA 4 in 2008, and they haven't put out anything because they're making so much money from GTA Online. So you know, I'm not worried. Oh, woe is Rockstar. They're only worth like $1 trillion, folks. They're only worth like the GDP of, you know, a few small countries put together. So I don't feel bad for them, and whenever GTA 6 comes out, this doesn't hurt them. This doesn't hurt them at all. It's gonna sell like incredible gangbusters, like the hottest thing ever, like flaming hot Cheetos mixed with Taco Bell. Like, it's gonna sell incredibly, and it doesn't matter if this got leaked. It doesn't matter. They're gonna make so much money off of this game, and then they'll be making money off of it for another decade after it releases, at least, with the next iteration of GTA Online. And I guess Red Dead Online just gets fucked, you know. Sorry if you're one of the few people that plays Red Dead Online, you just get completely fucked. But you know, I'll still never forgive them for the fact that they could have released the greatest expansion DLC ever if they did Undead Nightmare 2 for Red Dead 2, but they just didn't do anything. They didn't do anything, and it's really sad because the single player game itself is a masterpiece. It's a 10 out of 10 game. I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't have as much replayability as the first one or GTA 5, but it's still a masterpiece. And you know, just look at the run Rockstar has been on since 2008. We got GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Undead Nightmare, LA Noire, Max Payne 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Red Dead 2. I mean, those are pretty much all classic games. I mean, the one that's probably debatable is you know, LA Noire, and you know, I guess Max Payne might be debatable, but if you look how those games reviewed, they reviewed very well, 8.5 to 9 out of 10 games, and Max Payne 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I really would like a Max Payne 4. You know, if GTA 6 is still a while off or something, I'd really like a new Max Payne game, or just remake Max Payne 3, but that's a whole nother story. You know, just the run that Rockstar has been on the past 14 years is truly unprecedented. If there was a game developer Hall of Fame, they would have to be the first ones inducted. They're like the Babe Ruth of the game industry, and I really don't think that's going to change with GTA 6. I'd be very shocked if GTA 6 turned out to be like a Cyberpunk or a Fallout 76 type deal. Because, you know, Rockstar is not Bethesda. Rockstar is not definitely not CD Projekt. They're a lot bigger than... They're the size of both of those guys put together and then some. And, you know, and they've been putting out classics for a very long time. And I'd be very shocked if GTA 6 is not another classic. We got a little taste of the story also with these leaks. I didn't dig completely into the campaign. I don't want to spoil that for myself or anyone else, but from what I gather, just generally, it seems like we're going to get sort of a take on modern Florida. And if you look at modern Florida, it's a pretty interesting setting because, one, it's you know, it's obviously a beachy setting, tropical, palm trees, which I love. I love any sort of tropical setting like that. It reminds me of Scarface and the great Scarface video game, which is a classic, one of the greatest games of all time, even better than this game and many other games. You should really go play it if you haven't. And then two, Florida, right now in America, well, one, you know, it's obviously one of the largest states, and it's one of the most important states, and it's politically very divided. You know, Florida right now is actually a state that voted twice, I believe, for Donald Trump. So, you know, I'm sure that's going to be something that's going to be explored, and in the leak, through satire, obviously. They're not going to mention Trump by name, but there's going to be satire, I assume. There's going to be probably a lot of satire about Trump in this game. And, which, you know, Rockstar is like the South Park of video games. They make fun of everybody. They are really great at satire. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they have to offer. I just hope it's not too PC. I did hear something where they're trying to tone down the usual Rockstar shock humor for modern audiences. I really hope that's not the case. But even if they tone it down a little bit, it'd still be much more shocking than most other developers. But so there's a lot of very interesting avenues that can be explored with a modern Florida setting. And you know, originally the game was also supposed to include multiple other locations besides just Vice City or Florida. And I assume the modern Vice City will not. It won't look like. If I can pull up the map here, it's not going to look. Whoops! It's not going to look like this map. This will probably be like just like with Los Santos from San Andreas. You know, this is just going to be one part of the map. Like this city will probably be the southern tip of the new, I don't know what they'll call the state of Florida in GTA 6, but this map is going to be so probably astronomically huge. But it was supposed to be even bigger. It was originally supposed to, the code name was Project Americas, and GTA 6 was supposed to have multiple locations. It was supposed to have, I believe, Vice City, Los Santos, somewhere in South America, apparently, like some sort of, or Cuba or something like that. And that would have been, and you'd go to the airport and you travel between the places. Now that would have been hard to really wrap my mind around. That would have been really incredible. But sadly, you know, we're not getting that, and I'm not sure if that's because it just wasn't feasible with the current tech. Whether they're trying to, you know, dumb it down for last-gen consoles, or whether there's a lot of internal trouble with Rockstar. You know, I know they lost a lot of really great people at Rockstar the last few years. They lost, obviously, Leslie Benzies, the Benz. You know, the Benz was the reason why, you know, really GTA 5 and Red Dead 2 were so great. He's Leslie Benzies, you know, was one of the main developers on pretty much all their games going back to the old days, I think, of, you know, San Andreas and stuff. And sadly, there was a contract dispute with him and the Hauser brothers from Rockstar, and the Benz ended up driving out of Rockstar, or getting driven out of Rockstar. And so without the Benz, they might be in some trouble. There might be a lack of leadership. I believe also one of the Hauser brothers also left. I don't know if it was Sam or Dan Hauser. One of them left. I'd have to double check on that, but I know one of them left. So there may just be a lot of, maybe a lot of internal strife. And we're also in a time of game development across the board, which we're really not getting a lot of games, folks. I mean, a lot of games are getting delayed. We're just having a backlash against the crunch culture in game development. And, you know, you can say that's a good thing or whatever, but it's really not, you know, and it's good for the people who are working on the games. I feel bad for those people who have to, you know, work those really crazy hours, but at the same time, it's like, you know, isn't that your dream job? I mean, a lot of people's dream job would be to work at Rockstar Studios. So I know if I have my dream job, and currently, you know, I'm blessed to say I do, I don't even ever want to leave work. You know, I love working. I want to live at my workplace. So that's just me. I know other people don't feel the same. But the downside of that, of the anti-crunch culture, is that, you know, we're really getting a lack of games. And it seems like developers don't even want to make the games anymore. They don't even want to make the games. And that's why we're not getting many. And so this is why also I think GTA 6 is taking so long, is that Rockstar doesn't want to crunch their employees, and so they're stretching out the development a lot longer. And, you know, I'm not worried about GTA 6. I'm not really worried. I think it's still going to be a great game. I mean, I'll never forget when GTA 5 came out. I was very hyped for that game, and I was so excited to play it, and it lived up to all my expectations. And the same with Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 lived up to everyone except online, but I don't really care about the online. But it lived up to every one of my expectations and then some, and then some. And that's how good Rockstar is. They're the top, they're the elite upper echelon, but these leaks, I didn't watch all of the footage. I believe there was an hour of footage leaked. I watched maybe 20 or so, half an hour or so of footage. I'm trying to avoid any major spoilers, but I kind of got off on a tangent there. But the one cutscene or NPC interaction shows your main protagonist. He sort of talking to like a redneck type of dude. So he sort of seems. It sort of seems like GTA 6 is going to have a take on Florida redneck culture. And also keep in mind that Florida is in real life located in the South, the deep South of the United States, and so there's a lot of I guess anti-government sentiment. There's a lot of you know, a lot of people fly the Confederate flag, even though Florida really wasn't part of the Confederacy. It wasn't really a state yet, but people are going to do stupid shit like that, and so that'd be a cool side arc to go. To feature some sort of like rebel uprising in Vice City, and people waving, you know, a Confederate flag, or, you know, the GTA World version of the Confederate flag. And so there's really a lot of different ways we can go with this. I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of the 80s, so I don't think they're going to top, as far as the aesthetic and vibe goes, I don't think they're going to top this game. I mean, I don't mean the definitive edition, because it has a lot of problems, but I don't think they're going to beat that in terms of making a modern game, but there's definitely a lot of interesting ways they can go about it. And we also have COVID that I'm sure they're going to spoof. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, if we have mask wearers versus not mask wearers in GTA, and how that ties into the story. And also, another thing that was leaked is that there will be heists. Heists will be returning. And not sure exactly what form the heists are going to take, but I would definitely say, from the level of detail with everything else, that we're going to see a level of complexity in heists that wasn't present in GTA 5, and it's going to be much more advanced. I mean, just everything, in my opinion, from these leaks goes back to the car customization. I've never seen such detailed car customization in any game ever. I mean, maybe like Forza or something, but I don't even think in Forza you can really customize the height of the seats and the you know, the color of the interior and all this stuff, and it's truly remarkable. And Rockstar just keeps pushing the envelope to the next level. They truly are the one developer left in the industry that is like the golden child, that really they don't make shitty games, folks. I mean, they may do some scummy things with business practices and online, but, you know, they're not going to make a bad game. I mean, if no one's really expecting GTA 6 to not be a great game, it's going to be a great game. That's why it's trending on Twitter literally every other day. I mean, finally it trended on Twitter for an actual reason. But I digress. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of these GTA leaks. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've really missed. Yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything I want to cover here with these leaks. But I mean, I really would just honestly rather have a Red Dead Undead Nightmare 2 than, you know, and put GTA 6 off another year or so, because GTA 5 has so much replayability. It's one of the few games that I can just keep playing over and over and over, and I really don't get sick of it. You know, a few things I'd like to see in GTA 6 and maybe haven't been confirmed yet. I would like to see some sort of travel element included in the game, at least, you know, maybe not to a whole city, you know, maybe they won't have multiple cities and countries and everything, but if they at least have, you know, other small locations, like I think about in Red Dead 2, that island, I forget what it was called, but in the one mission you go to this island. If they maybe have some outlying islands in the Caribbean you can travel to, like the Bahamas type thing, that'd be pretty awesome. And there has been shown some sort of travel mechanic, not an airport type thing per se, but they have a train. The one leak I saw, the player goes inside of a train. We don't see it running, but there was a thing that said, "Oh, train testing." So I assume you can travel, and by train I mean like sort of like a subway bullet train type thing. And so I assume we'll be able to travel around the world on the subway, which we've never really gotten to do before in GTA. And it'd be nice to see if that could maybe go to maybe another city, or maybe it goes underwater to an island or something. Who knows? But there's a lot of possibilities with that. And probably my second thing would be the Red Dead interactions, which I'm glad those are in the game. I'd like to see them maybe push it a little further than Red Dead 2 did. Maybe give some some more dialogue choices. I mean, Red Dead doesn't really have that, but I mean there are some choices in Red Dead 2 that you can make at important points in the game. So I'd really like to see them expand on that and add more choice to the game. Because Rockstar nails pretty much everything else. The one thing that they don't really do too much of is they don't do a lot of choice and consequence. So if they add significant choice and consequence to GTA 6, it could be one of the greatest games ever, probably. And then another thing with customization, I would like to see, obviously we have the car customization, we have the weapon customization, we have the character customization, but the one thing GTA 5 kind of lacks, at least in the single player, and to an extent the online, is you can't really do much in the world. You can't really customize the world very much. The world's kind of just set in stone. I'd like to see you be able to buy properties and actually be able to customize those properties, and buy a big mansion, customize the mansion, buy an island, and all this shit is things you can do in other games. I mean, even people are shitting on Saints Row, but the cool thing about Saints Row, if you actually play it, they have a thing called the Empire Table, and on the Empire Table you can buy these new criminal ventures. They cost about $100 each, and you can start a whole roleplay castle called Castle Kraken or something, and you can literally LARP with people. And I think that was pretty creative. And then they got other ones. They got a startup thing where you can build inventions, and like an Elon Musk Tesla type thing, and repoing cars and all this stuff. And this mission's really hard. And so I'd really like to see something like that in GTA 6, where you can really just expand your criminal empire or whatever into different avenues. Food trucks, there's even food trucks in Saints Row. So how cool would it be in GTA 6 to actually be able to start your own food truck, customize your own food truck, sell whatever type of food or whatever you want to sell, drive it around, make some extra cash that way, and then go back to your fully customized mansion on the water, and have a bunch of boats there, and have a tennis court, or a putting green, and be able to play those mini games, or play whatever mini games you want right at your house there. I'm sure there's something like that in the works. I'd be pretty surprised if there wasn't, because I mean, Rockstar did kind of dip their foot in the water with this, with the camp in Red Dead 2, or the multiple camps or whatever, and then online, in online GTA Online, you can buy different properties. It's just all these properties are pretty much the same. They're pretty samey, and they're just pretty much apartments that you just go inside, and they're not very unique. But if you could actually, I hope there's a lot of interior spaces. So if you can actually go inside a lot of different houses and then say, oh, I want this house, and you call up the real estate agent, you buy that specific house, that'd be really cool. And so I really hope they push that further, because that has been done in games before. And even besides Saints Row, you look at the Scarface video game. You had a mansion in that game that you could fully customize. You could buy tigers, you could buy a marina, a dock, and you could also control businesses. The businesses would make you money. Then you could even do drug deals on the street. You could sell cocaine, which I was playing that at 6 years old. I probably shouldn't have been playing that, but that's why I am the way that I am today. And if there's a mini game, and there should be as much depth and as many mini games as possible. I'm a big mini game guy. Mini games really add depth to the world and make it believable. Because running around killing people is great, but I like doing other stuff, and it really fleshes out the world. So if they have all these mini games, you know, you can sell drugs on the street, you know, you can have a food truck to make money, you can, you know, I don't know, fucking sell boats or sell cars to other people. I mean, these are all things they could take from other games. They could take another thing from like Mafia 2, one of the classic open world crime games. There's a feature in Mafia 2 where you steal very valuable cars, and then you take them to the junkyard. They get scrapped. You put them in the Beast, and you make money. And then you take the most valuable cars, and you take them down to the dock, and they get airlifted onto a boat, and then you get money from that. I mean, they really should make as much, because GTA is pretty much, at least 5, is all about making money, and you know, through the heists, and you know, robbing stores or whatever. You know, so that's what GTA 6 should be all about. They should go all in on that, and they should make as many ways to make money as possible. And they had the stock market in GTA 5, and the stock market was it was an innovative thing, because I don't think a really stock market has ever been done in another game before. And but they kind of promised a little more depth to the stock market that really wasn't there. At least I couldn't find it. You really should be able to manipulate the market. Besides a couple missions, assassination missions, you should be able to manipulate the stock market in real time. So, like, if I start, say I hate this car company, this blue car, so I go out and I try to destroy every single blue car that I see. And that, you know, car company has a name, obviously. Let's just say it's, what's it called, what's that car called? Banshee. Let's just say this is Banshee, and I keep destroying Banshee cars. And then, eventually, the Banshee stock price should go down. And that sort of thing. Or if I keep robbing Cluckenbells, then there'll be a news story that says, oh, Cluckenbells are constantly being robbed. Their stock price goes down. You can make money doing that, manipulating the stock market. So, that's what I really want to see. I want to see a level of reactivity that we haven't quite seen in GTA up to this point. I want to see as many ways to make money as possible. Say, you know, I see this gas station, boom, you can buy that gas station, make money, like, you know, like an Indian guy. And that was racist. That was very racist. I didn't say that, but bad. And, you know, but the thing is, we should be able to make jokes. We should be able to make jokes, and that's what I hope GTA keeps doing, because we need satire. We need to be able to joke about ourselves and other people. If we can't joke about anything, then we're doomed, folks. We're doomed. Then, you know, we're just going to go downhill. So that's the great thing about GTA, great thing about South Park. They joke about everybody, every culture, and it's okay, you know? So I really, if GTA loses that and just becomes, you know, a generic crime story, then that's really sad, folks. But hopefully it doesn't. If I had to say I'm concerned about anything with GTA 6, that'd probably be the one thing from that article I read, because I'm pretty sure that was Rockstar's own words. You know, I hope they're not trying to make a more politically correct story. But I'd also like to see some callbacks to this original Vice City, and obviously the map's going to be a lot bigger. But you know, maybe we get, you know, locations like this. What is this? What is this, lighthouse or something over here? You know, maybe we get, you know, some of these locations exactly the same, because it's still supposed to be Vice City. It's just a modern Vice City. So you would assume that some of the locations probably haven't changed that much. Like, you know, this lighthouse should be in a similar spot, should look similar, you know, stuff like that. And then we could really see a evolvement, an evolution. I think I just made up a word there, but we could really see an evolution of the GTA world from the 80s to now, and that'd be really cool. I mean, sort of like we did see that kind of with GTA 5 and San Andreas, but with San Andreas, they really had to remake the world a lot more, because the San Andreas world was, you know, it was 3 cities: San Fierro, Los Venturas, and Los Santos. And then in GTA 5, they just made it Los Santos and surrounding countryside. So, but if this game is just in Vice City, then, you know, maybe they can focus a little more on the city and make it more, you know, in line with the older version of it, because it's still, I believe, supposed to be in the same universe. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's about all the takes I have on these GTA 6 leaks. The final thing I guess I could say is the release date. We don't know the release date of GTA 6. It's just pure speculation at this point. But if that footage we saw was indeed from 2019, I would say the game is probably nearing completion. They're probably getting to the phase where they're just going to fix bugs and put the final polish on it. And that phase does take about a year or so. So I would say we're looking at I doubt it'll be late 2023, but I'd say probably early 2024 in that window. The original GTA 5 was supposed to launch in spring 2013, so I'd say a spring 2024 launch for GTA 5 is actually my prediction. Because maybe it was probably originally supposed to launch in 2023. It would have been 10 years after GTA 5, but with COVID and all this stuff and the crunch stuff, it probably got delayed internally. We just didn't really hear about it. And yeah, but another thing, I guess there is no Bully 2. There was rumors of Bully 2, but if GTA 6 is leaking, that probably would have leaked as well. So that was probably canceled. So I guess there are no more in between Rockstar games, sadly. Those are some great games, like the Bully, Manhunt, Max Payne. So the only other thing maybe Rockstar could do is maybe remaster GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1. I mean, I really don't think Red Dead 1 really needs a remaster. It still holds up very well. It still looks good, even on old consoles. But GTA 4 is a game that I think could benefit from a remaster, because that game has some outdated controls. Like, you gotta press fucking circle to shoot, bro. It's fucking weird. I can never understand it. We got some crazy physics in that game. The graphics are looking kind of old at this point. So I think they can make, in the meantime, if GTA 6 doesn't release till 2024, I think Rockstar could really make bank by coming out with a GTA 4 remaster next year. And GTA 4 was really the game that started this whole modern GTA that we have now become accustomed to with GTA 4 and GTA 5. So it'd really be cool to see that game remade into modern glory, and to have modern mechanics, have a weapon wheel like this game has, and because the GTA 6 shooting and just weapon mechanics are just truly awful. I mean, GTA 4 mechanics are truly awful, and that'd be something interesting that I'd like to see. And that was a really good story, though. That was with Nico Bellic. It's a very interesting Rockstar story. It was kind of more dark and serious and gritty than other stories they've done, including GTA 5. So I would like to see kind of a return to that, but I don't think we're going to get that. But even if they just have, this sort of redneck Florida type vibe, I'm down for that. And I will obviously be covering GTA 6 as much as possible. If there's any more information that comes out over the coming days, I'll probably make another video. And you can follow me on Twitter at @4allout, and I'll be tweeting about the stuff. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. It's been fucking 10 years basically since the last game, and I'm kind of getting a little tired finally of GTA 5, and it's gonna be a big one, folks. It's gonna be the biggest release since Red Dead 2, which I haven't really had something like that to look forward to since Red Dead 2. I mean, maybe Starfield next year, but honestly, I'd be more hyped for GTA 6. So that's all for tonight, guys. If you haven't, please check out my first podcast that I've done in a long time, the Ham Radio 2.0 podcast. It was with a guy named Captain Beardy on Twitter, and he's a great YouTuber. Shout out to him. And we played some Fallout 76 The Pit. We liked it. It's a free update. You can't bitch too much. They're gonna flesh it out in the future. And yeah, fingers crossed, and pray for a Fallout New Vegas 2 or a remake of that game, or anything from Obsidian having to do with Fallout, or even just some Avowed gameplay. That'd be nice. So keep that in your thoughts and prayers. And with that, I'm going to be signing off tonight. But thank you for watching. Bye-bye.